The pentatonic scale gets a bad rap in jazz. Show up at a jam session and play minor pentatonic licks and you'll get a lot of knowing looks and eye rolls. But it's not the scale that's the problem, it's how you use it. In jazz, it's more of a framework that you can develop rather than a cage that you get locked into. In this video, we'll look at how three of the greats of jazz use the minor pentatonic scale to create iconic recordings. Hi, I'm Dr. George with Jumpstart Jazz Guitar, making jazz simple so you can play more and think less. Today, we'll look at three blues tunes from that period. Sonnymoon for Two by Sonny Rollins, Equinox by John Coltrane, and Chitlins Carne by Burrell. All three of them feature simple pentatonic melodies and then use the minor pentatonic scale as the basis for their solos. Let's start with Sonnymoon for Two. As you can hear, that's a pretty simple melody. It's just walking down the minor pentatonic scale with a little bit of syncopation and a little tag at the end. And it's a riff blues, so it's played the same way 3 times, and that's the head. The progression is a standard jazz blues, but with fewer chords than you would expect in a bebop blues. Now, there's no piano or guitar, so that leaves Sonny with quite a bit of freedom. The solo starts out simply, but he's outlining a B-flat minor triad before settling on a simple motive of 5-1, and then he gradually adds the other notes of the minor pentatonic scale. Now, this goes on until the end of the third chorus when he plays a double-time bebop lick. And then for the rest of the solo, he's working the motive, primarily using rhythm and adding the pentatonic scale and articulations, and then alternating that with bop licks before ending the solo on the motive. Next, we'll take a look at Equinox. This was recorded in 1960 during the My Favorite Things sessions, though it wasn't released until like 1964 or 65. You can clearly hear, though, that it's part of John Coltrane's modal period. Let's take a listen. So as you can hear, that's a very simple melody. It starts with 3-1 and then 4-1 before going to the 2. And now that is the one note that's not in the pentatonic scale. And then it's back to 3-1. Now we'll see later that Coltrane makes use of that idea of note pairs throughout his solo. Now this is a minor blues, and it was originally recorded in C sharp minor, but most people play it in C minor, so we'll look at it that way. It starts with a Latin intro that's also a minor pentatonic lick. And then the accompaniment is also basically a clave pattern. Now, McCoy-Tyner keeps it quite simple, though he does move notes throughout the chords to give it a little bit of shape, but for the most part, it's very straight ahead. Now, in the solo, it's almost entirely minor pentatonic, and mostly he stays within an octave. And as I said before, he works a lot of pairs, and like Sonny, he likes that 5-1. What's really interesting to me is how both of them are able to take something as mundane as 5-1 and make it sound pretty edgy through the way they articulate and the notes and the rhythm and phrasing that they're using. Now, Coltrane uses the framework to gradually add notes to the pentatonic scale, especially on the 5 chord. He'll go to that 2, that's in the melody, but he adds some other notes from the minor scale too. And then eventually you'll hear some classic train licks towards the end. But the one thing that's really clear is that he's not following the changes. He's thinking modally. So the last tune we'll look at is Chitlins and Carne by Burrell. Now this is the same 5 notes, but it's a completely different mood than Sonny and Train's songs. More of a rock groove, really. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So once again, this melody is entirely a minor pentatonic melody. And the form is AAB, which is kind of like the standard rock blues form, where the first line is repeated and then the third line brings it home. Now there are just 3 chords in this, but the 1 chord and the 5 chord are 7♯9 chords, and this makes it fit the minor pentatonic scale better. The most striking characteristic is the call and response. Kenny plays a 1-bar lick, and then he plays a chord to respond to it. And he does this in the melody, but he also does it in the solo. Now the solo is also entirely minor pentatonic, 4 choruses of it until the last chorus, though even that is mostly minor pentatonic. Now, one thing you can hear is that he uses the extended minor pentatonic scale at times, where he's combining box 1 and 2. As long with just simply box. Now, this song makes a great ear training exercise. Try singing each of Kenny's licks when he's playing the chords, and then try the same thing, but play it on the guitar. So what it all comes down to is ideas, not scales. All 3 of these solos are focused on developing ideas and not worrying about the chord changes. Now, while they're not following the chord changes, they do follow the contour of the progression. And that works because the changes are pretty simple and the notes of the pentatonic scale fit the chords. They're great examples, though, of what really makes music sound like jazz. Now, these are really easy heads to learn and to solo over, so add them to your repertoire. The minor pentatonic scale can connect rock, blues, and jazz. It's the common language. And if you're coming from blues or rock, this is a great place to start. Limiting notes help you focus on feel, groove, articulation, and phrasing, the true jazz elements, and then work on developing ideas with rhythm, articulation, and dynamics. Once those are solid, adding more notes is easy, but it's the sound that makes it jazz, not the scale. So you see, jazz doesn't have to be complicated to be good. At Jumpstart Jazz Guitar, the focus is on making jazz simpler so you can start playing and having fun. If you want to learn how, sign up for a free lesson. The link's down below.